Excellent!
So it's like late January and I have yet to do a garage worklog video for this month. This is my workspace out here in the garage, and my worklog series has gone over the past, I don't know, year and a half or so, as I've sort of built stuff out here and done painting and all that kind of stuff. So if you haven't watched them, the link to that whole playlist will be down in the description. But today I have two pretty simple goals. One is just to clean, so I'm going to do that first because, like, yeah, the table behind me is in really bad shape. So I'm going to get some of that done, maybe dust a little bit, you know, typical types of maintenance things. And then I have this pile over here. So I promised to do this last year, and I'm finally getting around to it, but if you guys don't know, I have a sort of strip of sound dampening material here around the outside edge of my workspace. It's because I have microphones that kind of float right in here, and I found that putting that in there helped to reduce the echo that came from having flat walls pretty significantly. So I like having it there, but it's not the highest quality stuff, and it's definitely not like, it's not level 100% across the top here, and I'd also like to bump it up a little bit so the top edge is kind of hidden by the shelf a little bit more. So hopefully this will solve that. I have a pile of the pyramid style foam here, which I think I like better than the long ridges. I originally had switched these and gone flat and then vertical every other one, and then I decided I didn't like that, so I tried to go all vertical, and then I kind of gave up down here because it was too much work and I had to use a heat gun. So I guess waiting till winter was probably, that's my excuse. That's why I waited this long. Now it's winter and it's cold in the garage, so I can actually use the heat gun and not get super sweaty, so that'll be nice. Anyway, so this foam I just got on Amazon, and I'll link this down on the description if you guys are interested. You know, pretty standard pyramid style foam dampening strips there. And then I've also got this to try to get a little bit more precision job on it, also from Amazon, imported from China, I believe. And this is basically like a heat, not a heat gun, not a soldering iron, but it's got a long, like, metal piece that gets hot. That should hopefully, though, allow me to slice through these a little bit more precisely than using the scissors, and allow me to make room for the shelf supports. So those are my two things. I'm going to set up a time lapse and get to work. Wish me luck. So this sucks, pretty much. I've been going for, I don't know what, maybe like half an hour to 45 minutes, and I have gotten this far. I think that's like maybe three and a half pieces. The adhesive I used is just being really a pain in the ass to get off. It's leaving lots of little chunks in here like this, which sucks. I can kind of like rub them with my finger to get them off of there, but that's just sucks, and it starts to kind of rub my finger raw. It's only just started to do what I was really afraid it was going to do much of, which is peel the paint off. That's not a huge deal because I'm going to be putting more foam pads over this, so I'm not too worried about how it looks under there. It's just taking them off takes so long. If I try to like peel them quick, they're just kind of tearing underneath and coming apart. So word of warning to anyone putting in foam pads like these, especially if they're the cheapest ones that Amazon sells. They come apart really easily when you take them down, so maybe give thought to how you're actually mounting them. Anyway, here goes the rest. Okay, I have gotten all of the old stuff off. It took way too long, much longer than expected. Actually, it's the next day now because I got so tired of doing it last night and my fingers are tired from rubbing on the walls and stuff, so I took a break. But now I'm back at it, and I pretty much got everything off. I left the tiniest little piece over there in the corner. That's just to piss off people with OCD. But now I'm going to put these pyramid-style acoustic foam pads on there, and I've been looking up online some better ways to do this, because this is what I used originally, the 3M general purpose spray adhesive, which, again, did a fine job holding those up in place and everything, but removal was just not good. So my solution is based on a couple things. One is just some basic internet browsing for trying to find a better solution. Second, it's based on the fact that I don't want to leave the house right now, so I'm using what I got here. But actually, one of the most popular suggestions that I found on there was liquid nails, and fortunately I've got some liquid nails right here, so I'm going to use that. Hopefully my plastic caulking gun here doesn't fall apart on me. And the idea there is that you just use it like on the corners, or maybe I'm probably just going to do like some dabs here on each of the corners and then maybe one in the middle for each one. So it might like pull up the paint when I take it off, but I don't really care about that. But it should hopefully at least make removal a little bit easier if I need to do that in the future. These should hopefully stay up for a while anyway. So here's the method I've devised for making sure everything is level and even. Basically, I have this pile of boxes. This is going to be my standard for measuring the height, and I'll just move this along the desk as I move along installing these pieces. And this is composed of a razor blade box, a Gigabyte Bricks Gaming UHD box, and this box that NVIDIA sent over for their order of 10 thing that they did last summer. Anyway, so this, basically the foam pad just pops in like that, and I tested from looking at it from my main camera, and the idea was to not be able to see the gap up there between the top of the foam and the shelf, at least when I'm recording from a typical level height, and that seems to do it. So the last question here is going to be my my foam cutter soldering iron thing, which I don't know. It's a pretty simple design. It's plastic. It just has a very cheap power supply unit on the end. It does have an on-off switch inline, so I guess that's convenient to have. But again, let's give this the moment of truth. Switching on. Didn't explode. This is actually getting quite warm quite fast, at least as far as I can tell from the scent of newly warmed up electronics parts. But for lack of anything better to do, I need this. My first cut is just going to be cutting one of these straight in half, and I have nothing holding this down or anything to keep it safe, but let's give it a shot. Oh my god, it's like butter. I also think I'm going to need to open up the door in here and get some ventilation going, because those fumes coming off the top, they look healthy. I should also use two hands for this. Hold on. So here's my first precision cut, so to speak, with the wand, and you know, it's not like as clean as I was kind of hoping it would come out, but it's okay. It's passable. And then, I mean, again, if you guys don't know why I'm doing this, it's because I have these supports for the shelves that come down, and I want this to be clean going across the back of all of them. But of course, I can't attach these to the wall where that's not a thing. So I feel like even though the edge there is a little rough, once I actually match these up, it'll block it a little bit. I'm still going to have a bit of exposed, you know, kind of not prettiness going on there, but I think it'll be fairly minimal. So this is functional enough for me. And oh god, my wife is home, so the dogs are going to start barking. Alright, so now the moment of truth. I got some liquid nails on there. I know I put it far more extensively than I had said I was going to, but this is just for this corner piece to make sure it stays in place. And yeah, hold on. Alright, so I sincerely hope that will hold, but I think I've decided upon my method for mounting these, so let's switch back to time-lapse mode and see how quickly I can get the rest of this done. Well, okay guys, here it is. Pretty much as far as I'm going to get as far as the garage Worklog itself goes for today. I think everything went pretty smoothly. As you can see, I have this nice pyramid style acoustic foam surrounding the outside perimeter of my set, and I think it looks a lot better than the stuff that was on there before. All that said, I did learn a few things, so let's quickly go over that. Thing number one was that I don't really need this soldering iron thing, at least for this type of foam. I'm sure in some situations it would be more useful, but I mean it was just pretty slow to use as far as actually cutting through the foam. I'll still put a link to this in the description just because I want to put links to the stuff I used today, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend this for this type of job. I basically discovered that a sharp pair of scissors was pretty much all that you really needed. Now this is mainly due to the fact that this foam already has kind of like partitions, I mean since it's all in little squares, so cutting in between these wasn't too difficult. And it also made it easier for spacing to figure out what should go where. But the other thing was, even in situations where I needed to cut like straight up in half one of the pyramid peaks, it was easier to do it with the scissors, and it came out with a cleaner kind of cut on the end. I mean, obviously it's still kind of freehand with scissors, so it's not the best, but when I was using the other thing, it came out more like this, which is quite a bit rougher. And unfortunately there's a few pieces up here that do have that going on, like up in that corner, and then this one here. So other lesson learned was I probably should have started over on this side, where I would have cared a little bit less about how it looked and then moved this way as I figured things out and got a little bit better at it. But that's how it went, and you know, like I said, I'm just pointing out the minor things that bugged me a little bit, but overall everything came out pretty good, I think. But that is all the time I have for today and for this video, guys, so I really hope you've enjoyed it. My garage worklogs are always fun and learning experiences, and I hope you guys have at least enjoyed coming along for the ride with me, or maybe even learned a little bit yourself as you're setting up your own areas, whether it's for filming or for just playing games and stuff. Now, I did promise myself that I would finish that stuff back there first before I moved on to the next thing, which I'm more excited about, and that's all right here. So this is January's build. I know it's the very end of January, so it's going to leak over into February a little bit. I will have a build for February as well, but I'm really excited about this one. It's an RGB build. I have a Phanteks Enthoo Evolve. I got Asus motherboard and graphics card, a 1080, and a Maximus 9 Hero. It's going to be RGB everywhere. I have G-Skill memory. G-Skill memory is still on the way. That hasn't arrived yet, so that's pretty exciting too. 7700K. Really awesome storage configuration from OCZ. And Phanteks even sent me like extra RGB strips and that kind of thing. Oh, also an NZXT Kraken 62, which also has RGB on it. So RGB, all the things, coming very, very soon. So anyway, guys, again, hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video. Links to stuff I used is down there in the description. And yeah, have a good one. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you next time.